Okay, let's go again. More Diet Coke power, playing Sultan-Kahn. So Sultan-Kahn has a good history behind it. That's interesting. He beat Capablanca. That was one of his most famous wins. So he came from India as a sort of manservant. It was the time of the British Empire and manservants, and he won the British Championship about 3 times. He represented, I think, England in the Olympiad back then, or the equivalent. And he beat some really good players. But I think one of the people that used to beat him all the time was Edward Winter. I think it was because of Winter's really attacking, ferocious tactical style. It wasn't in line with Sultan's positional kind of chess. So anyway, we played all this before. I'm going to play B6 again. Looks like good fun. So B6 and Bishop A6. I think also I read, he just went back to India afterwards, was found sort of under a tree or something, philosophizing. So, very interesting story. I think knight c5 here. So this knight's kind of good on c5. I think I kind of like this. I'm sort of evolving an opening repertoire here from these 5-minute games. I have to thank you because I used to be a 1-minute addict, so this commentary has made 5-minute games a lot more fun. It is a more thoughtful form of chess, and the auto pairing is very tough. Let's see, knight e4, or knight takes b3, or queen a3. Queen a3, I think, might be interesting. If knight d3, knight e4, and I'm threatening mate, I guess there's queen d4 there. Queen a3, knight d3, knight e4. No, there isn't queen d4 there, sorry. So I think I might go for that, queen a3. Could be an important resource. Queen d4, queen takes b2 like the other game, the same pattern. This knight d3 check. Taking on b2. Knight c5, fine, my pawns are connected. So, yeah, Sultan-Kahn, arguably he was one of the most talented, players in chess history, because he never received a formal chess education. Apparently he couldn't even read much, although that was later questioned, that, could he read or not. There was a bit of a controversy about that. The knight e4 here, or rook c8. Yeah. Knight e4 seems as though it could be interesting. Maybe rook c8 to follow. I might go for that. So it's good that d4 isn't immediately gobbled up here. So have I got rook c8 now? Or should I just castle? I think maybe I'll castle. Right, so f6 is going to be dangerous. So do I really? Maybe I want to take that actually. That pawn. Probably I'll take it to keep it fluid, to avoid any f6s being a sort of dangerous pawn wedge around my king. Okay, now maybe g6 to protect f5. I guess he could sacrifice, but I could evacuate. Maybe knight takes, g takes, rook takes, king h8. Start an evacuation. Start looking for intermediary moves and stuff. Okay, e6. So is there queen c3 here? If the knight moves, I think queen c3 is a nice move. I think I'll play it. Just threatening that knight on d4. A bit unexpected. The opponent's probably expecting fe6 as well. Okay, I'll take on f7. This knight seems kind of powerful on e4. So, if this knight moves, maybe there's knight d2, interfering in the queen's protection of d4. I guess there's knight e5 here. Okay, so rook e7. Rook e7 might be asking for it because knight c6. What about knight d2 here? So if knight f7, queen d4. If rook f2, queen takes d4. Then if knight takes f7, I'll probably be in trouble there. So rook e7 is knight c6. Maybe rook c7 stop this knight c6 business. Well, I guess rook c1 would simplify. Okay. Queen b2. Keeping an eye on quite a few of white's pieces. Knight c6 remains as though it's a fearsome move. I've got queen f2 check here, fortunately. Just looking for an escape square with the queen. Now, rook c1, rook c8, doubling up rooks. Looks as though it could be useful. In fact, I might be threatening queen d4 here and rook c1. And then takes queen g1, knight f2 mate. So queen d4, rook c1. Seems to be a serious threat here. Queen f3. Does that still work? Queen d4, rook c1. Not really, it doesn't work as well because f2 is covered. Maybe, anyway, queen b2 threatens queen a1 here, then rook c1. Then rook f1. Not really sure what's going on there. Actually, I've got another threat, rook c1. I'll forget about queen a1. Rook c1, just pinning the queen to the king. In fact, here, rook c1 seems to be stronger than queen b1. What do you think? I'll give you 20 seconds before I make a move. Is queen b1 stronger than rook c1? I'll go for it now. Okay, if queen b1, rook c1, rook f1, I can't see a way to proceed there. Knight f2 seems harmless, king g1. It's only if he took that it would be better on mate. But if we play rook c1 instead, it seems to be skewering the queen against the king. So if rook b2, rook takes d1, it seems to be a better on mate. So personally, I think rook c1 is strong. I'll play it. Yep, he's resigned. He agrees. It's pretty strong. So I don't think there's any real defence there. Let's have a quick look at that game. Overview and summary. So it's another of these French defence with the piece sack. I'm starting to build up my stats on this. Successful stats with this b6 and bishop a6. With the idea of the queen later being a real menace via the a3 square. So that's one of the deeper ideas in the variation, perhaps. Maybe I was a bit fortunate. The queen had an escape square here, though, f2. So that knight on e4. And now it's very dangerous for white's back row. I think here, if rook f1, it's knight f2 check, at least picking up the exchange, at the very least. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.